Welcome back to VW Farm. What's that behind us? We're building a greenhouse, and we're going to show you how easy it is so you can too. So what we ended up doing is, this used to be a raised garden bed, and we dug all this out and we filled up the other garden beds. We tamped it down, and then we used some rubber roofing that we acquired and put that down as our base, and now we're going to build on top of it. I got these blueprints, plans off the internet for free, and I'll leave a link in the description of where I got them, and then a link to this particular greenhouse. It comes with a list of supplies that you need and tools that are required, and it is intermediate in level, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. The only big difference that we changed on these plans is we're using pressure treated wood for the very bottom, and we're using pressure treated wood for the door frame, and then we're going to build a door. This particular greenhouse doesn't have plans for a door, but it looks fairly easy to make. Had to move our raised beds out of the way, so I used the lawnmower to drag them out. So I got our boards cut, and I'm just going to lay out. Take your speed square, draw it across there, and lay out where your studs got to be. I already got the studs cut, and then we're going to screw them together. This is going to be the back wall. Here's our back wall. I still got to get the sides made, but you kind of get the gist of it. May look a little short, but this is going to be a barn style, and we're actually going to come off the back. I'll have to look at the plans for the exact measurement, but we come off the back and go 12 feet down with a ridge pole, and then put our roof rafters in. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited. Got the studs all cut. This is all scrap, but it's not entirely just scrap wood. I'm going to use all that wood to build shelves for the inside. That's where all the plants are going to be. So it's pretty useful. That's not in the plans that I got, but you know, you might as well use what you have. It's just being responsible and resourceful. So these are all for the sides. I have to mark them out on my studs, and then we get to put them together. Short a couple boards. I'm glad that we established I don't know how to count. So if that's any testament to how easy building this thing is.
Oh, I know, it's so hard to believe, but we still have mosquitoes. This is unpleasant. This is like the middle of October, and we still have mosquitoes. So I really want it to get cold soon.
Well, we got the second wall built, and it's getting really late tonight. It's about 6 o'clock, and I want to take my wife out for some hush puppies. So we're gonna so we're gonna end it tonight, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow and continue on. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, it's a new day, and it's raining, so I'm gonna keep these plans in a dry spot. According to these plans, they don't run a board fully across on the bottom. We're going to run a pressure treated board the entire way. So what I had to do was cut a board at 118 3/8, which we already done. I also got all my studs done. And then for these, you have to remember that you have 1.5 inches, because that's how much a 2x4 is. You have to take off 1.5 inches, or else it's going to mess up your height by 1.5 inches. Got the front all done. These studs here are just regular wood. This bottom is pressure treated, and then this door frame is pressure treated, and then this is all regular wood. This should give you a general idea of what it's going to look like. Whew, it's the next day now, and it's cold. It's also raining. Leah's gonna come out and help me get those walls screwed together and get it square. In the meantime, I'm gonna start working on the roof rafters. While I'm waiting on Leah, I started cutting the roof rafters, And I started by using my speed square, which you can do, but I have a miter saw, and you have to cut these angles at 22.5 so they all line up. And on your speed square, it gives you degrees on this scale. And I cut the first cut and I said, I wonder if the chop saw can do the rest, or the miter saw. And I looked, sure enough, you can miter them at 22.5. So instead of using a skill saw, I'm using the miter saw. Now you can absolutely use a skill saw for those cuts if that's all you have, but I have this miter saw, so we're going to use that. Now when you cut these angles, you want to make sure they're not parallel. And what I mean by that is this angle is going to continue to ride that way, and then this angle is going to continue to ride down like that, and they'll eventually cross. If you cut them parallel, you have to start over. Okay. 192 3/4.
Okay. All right, good. We'll take it.
Hey,
Cool.
we're square.
We're square.
I thought it wasn't cool to be
Oh,
square.
it's hip to be square.
Is it hip to? It's hip to be
It's hip
square.
to be square,
It's
apparently.
hip to be square.
That's more of a rectangle.
She's got a point. It's more of a rectangle. Okay. And when all else fails, you just blame the Home Depot wood. We're putting the bracing in on the bottom, and then there's a brace that goes up here to hold the top in straight. We're gonna get all that, and then we're gonna finalize the top, make sure it's all level and straight. Just so we're all aware, I'm building these on the bottom, and then we have to build these for the tops, and then the front should be all set. This is just gonna brace everything together, and it's gonna work out pretty nice. So we got our brace supports up and everything. We're gonna get truss supports for the trusses. They didn't really mate up as well, but I think it's because of the screws and everything. When you screw them in, one shifts upward and it's just a big mess. But as of right now, it's starting to look really good. There's still a little bit of play forward and back, but once we get the back built and the bracing up, everything should solidify, but there is virtually no play left to right. It is braced solid. I'm no carpenter, and it's going together really, really well. There. What you fall over for? There, I made a homemade truss hanger. This will go on the inside, and they just go right there and you screw it in. Couple cuts on the skill saw and you're good to go. And voila, a nice sturdy truss. Well, I have the entire truss built. With that being built, I have to get this back brace installed and then try to get that truss up here by myself. That was not fun to get up by yourself. You're just gonna have to trust me that I got it up there. The thing is about it, it's not really heavy, it's just bulky, but we got it up there regardless. So it's really coming together back here. This part's a little tricky to make, and I'll show you what I did to make it work. So you obviously have to make your pointed tip angle there, which is relatively easy. all I did for that was I measured across. This is a 3.5 board. So I measure across 1 3/4 and I make an angle, 22.5. And then I flip it around, measure across again, make the other side of the angle, and it works out perfect. Now the issue is we have a nice 45-degree edge, and then we have to come up vertical to mate up with this. What I do is I get it where it needs to be on the top, and then I look here and you see I got to cut that fin off. So what I'm going to do is put it so it's level across where it needs to sit. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to mark right here and on the bottom right there, and I'm going to take my speed square and we're going to trim that corner off. I'm going to line it up, and that's going to work. It's a little too long, which is okay because I actually want it to be a tight fit. And there you go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to screw it in, make sure it doesn't move. We're going to get it up top. There, I cut a better truss gusset here. Yeah, I mean, it's freehand, so it's a little uneven, but that's what you get for saving some money. There, I have my mocked up ridge pole here. This is just a temporary piece, and I'm going to put a couple more screws on the sides and then do the other side. All right, on to our roof rafters. I have my center truss marked out on the ridge pole. I have it marked out on the wall. I'm going to start with the center and then work my way back. I used for my gussets, I used 1-inch rough cut that we had just laying around. It's a lot cheaper, and I mean, it's sturdy, but the regular metal gussets are just fine. I just had that laying around, so that's what I'm using. Now you can use truss hangers here, but again, it's another expense, so we're just gonna screw them in. Well, there's one, 4 more to go. This is my setup for putting these trusses together. I just have some 2x4s on the ground so I can get them nice and even, and I just line them up, take our truss block, set it down, and screw it in. I flip it around and I screw in the other side. No time at all. I'm gonna finish up getting these put together and I'll be right back. There's all the trusses. These are really, really easy to put on. I just line it up close to the top, screw it into through the bottom, screw it into the top, and then you're done. And just like that, we are all done with the framing. Next steps is to get the plastic on, get the tin around the base. We should really do the tin around the base, but I'm still waiting on that. So I have a couple pieces of scrap that I'm going to put so we can line up the plastic and start getting the roof done. I took this piece of scrap metal or scrap roofing tin and I laid it up against this side where it's supposed to be, and I got where the plastic needs to sit. Leah's out here with me, and she's gonna help me hold the plastic in so I can screw it and we can get the roof done. I want to get the closure strips for this so then we can anchor everything in place and make sure we're not going to change our measurement or anything like that. But so far it looks really good. I got to figure out what we got to do for the angles, but it should be pretty good. I'm pretty excited. We bought these closure strips to put on these ends here, and that'll seal up these ribs so there's not a lot of airflow leaking out and leaking in. They just clip together just like that, and they're actually bendable so we can go around the radius on one continuous strip. Progress has been pretty steady but slow. We got the sides done, and then the second panel ended right at that corner, and I didn't want to have a seam there because then water's gonna leak. So what I did is we took this next panel and we did 2 ribs instead of 1. We have a nice wide gap where it won't leak. We are making really good progress on these plastic panels. Can you believe it's only like 6 o'clock and the sun's already asleep? Next panel, please. We're starting to get this back panel on. This is why I use these metal gussets, because this way this plastic will sit flush on there. And on the inside we could use just regular old 1x or 1/2 inch wood. But yeah, it's starting to come together pretty good. Been doing a lot of off-camera work. We got the back all done. Now I'm working on the front. There's been a lot of debate, I don't know if I should call it debate, a lot of commentary on the website, Home Depot website, on how to cut this. One said tin snips, another said use a circular saw with a backwards blade. I used a grinder, and it does pretty good. I've been using the regular cutoff wheel with an angle grinder, and it's been working fine. And there we have it. Still waiting on the base tin here, but that should be coming any day now. So this video is getting pretty long. I'm gonna do the door and the shelves in a separate video, and then we have to figure out some heat, so you should stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, this has been a fun build, a fun project. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video around, and we'll catch you on the next one.